नमस्कार, मेरा नाम है अंकुर वारिकू। मैं वो अंकुर नहीं हूं जिससे आप अक्सर मिलते हैं जब आप नेवा बुपा के ऐसे ही किसी सेशन पे आते हैं। बट आई होप कि जितना अंकुर खरबंदा आपकी जिंदगी में वैल्यू ऐड करते हैं, उससे थोड़ी सी कम से कम कोशिश करूंगा मैं ही कर पाऊं। आप जहां भी हैं, आई होप सुरक्षित हैं, सेफ हैं, एंड ये साल आप सब लोगों के लिए बहुत अच्छा रहा है। आई एम सुपर थ्रिल टू बी पार्ट ऑफ दिस ओकेजन टुडे, क्योंकि ये एक ऐसा सेशन है which celebrates, which I personally believe is the most important thing, जो हर एक इंसान की जिंदगी में एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पहलू होना चाहिए, एंड दैट इज कॉन्स्टेंट लर्निंग। हम बहुत सारी बातें करेंगे लर्निंग के बारे में, बहुत सारी बातें करेंगे सेल्फ ग्रोथ के बारे में, बहुत सारी बातें करेंगे एक ऐसे माइंडसेट के बारे में that allows everybody to become true entrepreneurs and owners of their own life, and through that, of course, launch what is going to be an incredible investment in your personal growth, in your learning journey, and in your association with one of the finest brands that this country has when it comes to insurance across the entire country. But before we get into the introduction and the launch of what is a very exciting product today, I would love to bring वो अंकुर जो आपकी जिंदगी में ज्यादा वैल्यू ऐड करेंगे, so that you understand from both Ankurs of why we have come together. It's a pleasure and honor to welcome Ankur Kharbanda from Niva Bupa onto this session. How are you doing, Ankur?
Oh, thank you very much. I'm doing very well, Ankur, and it's a absolute privilege having you with us. And I'm sure for today, you will add a lot of things to all our people, all our health captains, all across the country. Because मुझे लगता है at the heart of both एक belief है that when people take the charge of their learnings, everything else changes. Yeah, because जब proactively हम learning शुरू कर देते हैं, because we want to do something, it comes from inside. Then is the time when things start moving in a direction. And I have read your books as well, Ankur, and I have seen your podcast. The way you do this is something which is beyond what a normal human being does. But what you have done is super things, and hence hence this session is very important for all the people who have come over here. Having you is here matters matters a lot to all of us, because you have been evangelizing for the years, staying curious, staying relevant, investing in yourself. I believe that's the core. Investing in yourself is is exactly the cultural shift probably we want to ignite. जो मेरे जितने advisor आज आए हुए हैं, that's one thing which one point I want all of you to take was a shift of investing in yourself, which inspires me personally. You inspire me personally. I'm sure today all of the people who have joined in will also be inspired with your journey. But while I am saying this, let me also start with something I always wanted to ask you. Now I have an opportunity here. Aapki journey, when your journey, what was the moment when you realized that self-learning is not optional but essential? This is one thing which I would love to hear from you.
That is such a great question, Ankur. Thank you so much. एक तो जब भी कोई भी मुझसे पूछता है ना, वो कौन सा एक मोमेंट था, मुझे बॉलीवुड की इंस्टेंटली याद आ जाती है, क्योंकि हम सबको ऐसा लगता है कि एक समय था, एक क्षण था, एक मोमेंट था where our life changed. But I think that only happens with Shah Rukh Khan and not in real life. I frankly believe, and I think that is true for most of us, कि धीरे धीरे ना जिंदगी हमें सिखा देती है कि जरूरी क्या है. I remember when I was in my 20s, it felt like a paisa bahut zaruri hai. The status you have in society, how people look at you, the car you drive, the phone you have, the clothes you wear, all of that is important. Then as soon as you enter your 30s, you suddenly begin to have a family and you begin to realize, oh, my parents are aging now. I am also somewhat getting old. I remember this morning I met some colleagues of mine. They're like, किसी ने मुझे uncle बुलाया. That becomes like a reality very soon. And then 40s, your kids are growing up and so on. And every day, every year is a realization, यार जिंदगी में कुछ बदल रहा है और कैसे बदल रहा है. But here is how I think about life, Ankur. the most fascinating thing about the time we are living is कितनी तेजी से चीजें बदल रही हैं. If you remember, and I'm sure बहुत सारे health captains and advisors भी इससे relate कर पाएंगे, मैं 1980 में पैदा हुआ था. बहुत अलग था देश. हर एक चीज के लिए लाइन में खड़ा होना पड़ता था. आपको दूध खरीदना है, लाइन में रहिए. आपको बस पास लेना है, लाइन में रहिए. आपको टेलीफोन कनेक्शन लेना है, लाइन पे रहिए. हर एक चीज के लिए कतार थी. And we got used to waiting in line for this. अभी भी याद है मुझे. And this is so fascinating when I talk to Gen Zs particularly about it, कि जब हम as a परिवार टीवी देखने बैठते थे और माँ पापा बोलते थे कि जाके चैनल चेंज करो, हमें उठ के टीवी के पास जाना पड़ता था. Like physically we had to go there. और फिर हम चैनल चेंज करते थे क्योंकि वो बटन ही होते थे, 5 या 8 बटन होते थे टीवी पे. एंड ऐसा अक्सर होता था कि जिस चैनल पे हमें जाना है वो चैनल फिर आ नहीं रहा है. एंड उस पॉइंट पे द मोस्ट एथलेटिक, मोस्ट पावरफुल पर्सन इन द फैमिली छत पे जाता था टू चेंज द एंटेना टू इंश्योर दैट दिस सैटेलाइट सिग्नल इज मैचिंग. एंड व्हेन आई शेयर दिस विद youngsters of today, people in their 20s, even in their 30s, उनको ऐसा लगता है कि आप कितने गरीब थे अंकुर. Because they can't relate to this life and this world, which was what, 20, 30 years back. And look at how far we have come. Look at how rapidly the world is changing. So when I look at this world and I try to answer this question for myself or for my kids, कि अगले 5-10 साल में दुनिया कहाँ होगी, I don't have an answer, Ankur. I really don't. I don't think anybody, even the smartest people on earth, उनको कोई भी आइडिया है कि दुनिया कहाँ जाने वाली है. So how do you even prepare for a world that you have no idea about? And this is a question that I've asked myself a lot in life. I've taken a lot of turns, changed careers, pivoted a lot, gone through very tough times, made some very stupid mistakes. But constantly the thing was, I can't predict the future. I can only try and understand the past, and I can hope to be prepared for the future. And the only thing that has time and again come back to me, Ankur, was the best way to prepare for the future is to invest in your thought, in your learning, in your mindset. क्योंकि 2020 में जब हम सब अपने घर में लॉकअप हो गए थे एंड दुनिया पूरी बंद हो गई थी, हर एक इंसान की जिंदगी बदल गई. हर एक इंसान का प्लान 2020 का खत्म हो गया. बट हु आर द वंस हु वन? वो लोग नहीं थे जिनको पता था कि क्या होने वाला है. किसी को नहीं पता था कि हम कितने महीने अंदर रहेंगे, कितनी देर तक ये रहेगा. बट दे हैड समथिंग इन देम दैट सेड, यार बंद हो गए हैं, लॉकअप हो गए हैं, सब कुछ रिमोट हो गया, सब कुछ वर्चुअल हो गया है, बट दैट डजंट चेंज द रियलिटी दैट वी स्टिल हैव टू लिव अ लाइफ. सो नाउ वी हैव टू एडजस्ट एंड वी हैव टू मूव इन दैट डायरेक्शन. इफ इट मीन्स कि मुझे टेक्नोलॉजी समझनी पड़ेगी, मैं समझूंगा. इफ इट मीन्स कि दुनिया पूरी बदल चुकी है एंड इट्स चेंज्ड इन द वे इट्स बाइंग, इट्स इवैल्यूएटिंग, इट्स असेसिंग, मुझे वो समझना पड़ेगा. आई हैव टू बी रेडी. लेकिन वो सारे लोग जो कुएं के मेंढक जैसे अपने कुएं में ही रहे, बोले नहीं नहीं नहीं, दुनिया नहीं बदली है, दुनिया वापस आ जाएगी, दुनिया नहीं बदलती. They're gone, wiped, extinct. And that is the truth about every single day that we are living our life. So there is no one moment, and I'm sorry to say that there will never be one moment. There have been so many such moments when I came back from the US, dropping out of my PhD, when I left my really fancy job to become an entrepreneur, when I stepped down as the CEO of my previous startup, right before COVID to figure out what I want to do in life. इन सारे चीजों में सिर्फ एक ही मेरा साथ रहा है, and that is continuous investing in myself. And I feel हर एक इंसान जो मुझे इंस्पायर करता है, हर एक इंसान जो सारे लोग इसको देख रहे हैं, आप उनसे इंस्पायर होते हैं, आप उनकी तरफ देखते हैं, हम उनका जैसे बनना चाहते हैं, you will find this as a common trait. वो कभी भी ये नहीं बोलते हैं मुझे सब पता है, मुझे मत बताओ. They are always saying, tell me more. I do not know enough. I don't even know. Teach me, show me. I'm willing to listen. And it is amazing how it's the best students who continuously learn, who become the best teachers and the people that we are always inspired by. And I'm sure you will also have
Yeah.
that as your journey, your reflection.
Beautiful, Ankur. So what you just said, deeply resonates with me as well. And, whatever you said in terms of what learnings, how can you change, what you can change, and you gave beautiful example of COVID. All the memories came back of COVID, saying, yeah, that was a difficult time. And I can tell you that all my advisors also changed, not just Niva Bupa. Niva Bupa changed, I personally changed, but the advisors also changed the way they worked earlier. And all the successful ones were the ones who really changed. But today, the not successful ones, I can always go back and say is largely because they were not okay with the new change, the new learnings. And, earlier, advisor meant selling a policy. Today, it means understanding customers, as you said, earning trust, and becoming their partner in health, long-term partner. And वो हो नहीं सकता जब तक deep learning ना हो. If you are a insurance agent and a health insurance agent, and we are calling you a health captain, then your word also health captain means that you need to have deep learning, और उसके लिए ये shift बहुत जरूरी है. And we are seeing a clear pattern, of course. Advisors who learn consistently and are upgrading their skills, whether it's knowledge of the product, customer psyche, some digital skills, the new ways of selling or prospecting, are the ones who are closing more cases. They're building deeper relations and are earning more. मैंने भी आपकी book या कहीं से पढ़ा था, more learning, higher, earning is directly dependent upon your learning. So more that you learn, the more is your earning. And our data shows that advisors who engage regularly in the learning practices, our training modules deals with, they are the ones who are 30% faster than the other ones who are not into it. And this is exactly why we are building the Insurance Academy. And अगर मैं थोड़ा अंदर और घुसने की कोशिश करूं, the landscape, if I talk about industry का landscape बताऊं, the scale of opportunity is humongous. And I've been talking about this, my advisors knows about it. But mota mota na, Ankur, for everyone else also to know, there is a 40 crore population who do not have a health insurance, but they need a health insurance. They have money. So the bottom quartile, which is the below poverty line, the government takes care of it. The upper quartile today has this, but you middle hai na, the 40 crore, they do not have it today. And that's where we have a huge opportunity of this 40 crore people. Abhi penetration is, data shows, is only 3.7% of GDP, but this is the overall number. If you look at the macroeconomics as well, and no better person than you would know it, GDP is growing fast. We are at 6.5, 6.6, better than the most of the countries. And as a 4 trillion economy, जो ये financial, जो potential है ना, financial protection का वो बहुत बड़ा है. And as our economy grows, which means overall per capita income grows. Per capita income grows means risk grows. Risk grows means that they would be looking at this insurance. So there is a lot of things which are there. And the last thing which has just happened is a beautiful thing. Government has made this as an essential product. Why I'm saying this as an essential product is because they have removed GST on a health insurance, which is a big relief. Abhi, just to give you a sense that October, November, when it started, our growth rate has gone 3 times. We were growing at 20%. Last 2 months, we are above 50% growth just because it's not pent up. Pent up hoti to October tak ho jata, but now it is there. And, given this landscape, and we saw as Niva Bupa that we have the responsibility and opportunity to build structured capability, scalable capability engine, and insurance academy is how Niva Bupa steps in. We are not just building a sales force, we are building a future ready advisor who is capable of finding and servicing the customers in this large protection gap and explaining the evolving health insurance need. आज की डेट में बहुत जरूरी है. How does it do that? And the third one is, how do we use digital tools, data, and then the trust to win in the years ahead. So what we are doing in short is, if we don't build this capability now and the capacity now, probably we would be late and the insurance industry would be late. The gap is huge. The customer need is today and it's urgent. And we at Niva Bupa want our advisors, हमारे जो health captains हैं, to lead the way in closing this gap with the knowledge and purpose. So इस पे, let me ask you, go back to you, Ankur. If a advisor wants to grow, उसकी कौन सी ऐसी पहली habit होनी चाहिए which he should build? So what's the first habit they should build if they want to grow?
Before I answer this question, Ankur, I want to stress upon दो तीन चीजें जो आपने बोली जो बहुत बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी हैं. When I create content on personal finance YouTube पे, and I speak to people across economic strata, across ages, across geolocations, it is insane जो आप बोल रहे हैं ना, वो day to day जिंदगी में कैसे दिखता है कि if health insurance is only 3.7% of GDP penetration, which is of course true, बहुत लोगों को ऐसा लगता है कि यार अभी तो हम जवान हैं, अभी तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, हमारे साथ तो कभी कुछ नहीं होगा, वो तो किसी और के साथ ही होता है. तो इंश्योरेंस ना हमारे देश में कल्चरली कभी सही मायने से देखा नहीं गया, क्योंकि हमें ऐसा ऑलमोस्ट लगता है कि यार अगर हम इंश्योरेंस ले रहे हैं ना तो हमें खुद की नजर लग जाएगी कि यार अभी तक तो भले चंगे थे, अब देखो कहीं कुछ हो ना जाए. बट 2020, एंड आई say this with absolute respect, it was such a seminal point for this industry, क्योंकि इतने सारे लोगों की जमा पूंजी खत्म हो गई just tackling the pandemic, realizing how even a few days in a hospital in today's country, with its costs, with all of every infrastructure that is there, we want the best, we desire the best, we of course have the best in this country, but it will come at a cost, and they were just not prepared for that. And जब आप देखते हैं of something which is the premium that you pay and the cover that you get and the arbitrage in that, it will pay for itself multiple times over, even if भगवान ना करे आपको उसकी एक भी बार जरूरत पड़ गई. It is so amazing as a product that I often say, आप बेवकूफ हैं अगर आप अपनी इन्वेस्टिंग जर्नी शुरू करने से पहले अपना हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, अपना लाइफ इंश्योरेंस और अपना इमरजेंसी फंड नहीं बनाते हैं, क्योंकि ये तीन चीजें ना प्रोटेक्शन प्रोवाइड करती हैं. ग्रोथ तो तब लाएंगे ना भाई जब आप अपना फाउंडेशन बनाएंगे. सो आई एम नॉट ऑफ कोर्स speaking to the health captains, क्योंकि उनको तो ये बिल्कुल पता है and that is what they use, but I want to through this, अगर कोई भी इंसान है जो एक हेल्थ कैप्टन नहीं है, हेल्थ एडवाइजर नहीं है, बट एक कंज्यूमर है ऑफ हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, to please recognize that this is such a fundamental, immediate, important investment to make towards the protection of you and your family, that it is supremely necessary. The other mistake, and I'm sorry I'm making this into a YouTube video of mine, is a lot of people realize that they have insurance maybe through a corporate setup. Great, but what you don't perhaps realize is when you leave that company, that health insurance will go away with that company. तो इतना सारा benefit होता है ना of longevity with a provider. You of course get your bonuses, you of course get your predetermined diseases qualified under the waiting period, you of course have a running history of your advisors helping you, of understanding everything that's coming in. So I highly recommend कि in addition to a corporate insurance, please have your own personal insurance as well. It is a great investment to make. Now, when you do that, it is a beautiful thing and often looked down upon, but I really call it beautiful, is हमारा culture ना is a very do it for me culture. हम ना वो यूएस वाला कल्चर नहीं है जहां हम जाएंगे बड़े बड़े स्टोर में अपनी लिस्ट लेके फिर वो आइल से उठाएंगे। मतलब हमारी आदत ये है कि हम ना पर्चा पकड़ा देते हैं और बोलते हैं भैया कलेक्ट करके हमें दे दो। And that's the same thing that happens in every place else. Like we will very rarely decide on the car that we want to buy. हम जाएंगे शोरूम, हम उनसे पूछेंगे क्या आप क्या बोलते हैं हमारे लिए सबसे बढ़िया गाड़ी कौन सी होगी? अरे मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? But we are always looking for consultants, looking for advisors because we trust experts.
Yeah.
And that's where all of you health captains come in. क्योंकि आपकी जिम्मेदारी ना इंश्योरेंस बेचना नहीं है, वो तो फ्रैंकली, एंड मैं पूरे तहे दिल से बोल रहा हूं, नेवा बुप्पा अगर चाहता तो वो डिजिटली इंश्योरेंस बेच सकता है। आपकी जिम्मेदारी बेचना नहीं है, आपकी जिम्मेदारी है नंबर एक उनको हर एक चीज से वाकिफ कराना जो वो नहीं जानते हैं। ऑल द मिथ्स अराउंड इंश्योरेंस, all the problems that people don't even realize they will encounter if they don't have insurance, to act as an advisor irrespective of whether they make a purchase or not. क्योंकि सबसे बेस्ट, एंड ये आप भी जानते होंगे, सबसे बेस्ट लोग जिनको हम ट्रस्ट करते हैं वो होते हैं जो हमें लगता है हमें कुछ बेच नहीं रहे होंगे, जो सिर्फ हमारी मदद करते हैं, जो बोल रहे हैं यार अच्छा बताइए अंकुर आपकी फैमिली में कौन कौन है, अच्छा बताइए कि उनकी उम्र क्या है, अच्छा बताइए कि भगवान ना करे पर किसी को कोई ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टिंग डिजीज है, बीमारी है, कोई हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन रिकॉर्ड्स हैं, फिर उसी के अकॉर्डिंग मैं आपको बता सकता हूं आपके लिए सबसे बढ़िया इंश्योरेंस क्या होगा। आप जहां से भी लीजिए वो फर्क नहीं पड़ता, लेकिन ये जानना बड़ा जरूरी है सर कि आपके लिए सबसे बेस्ट इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी कौन सी होगी। दैट्स वेयर यू कमिंग इन। एंड देन द हाईएस्ट वैल्यू ऐड इज जब वाकई में उन्हें आपकी जरूरत होगी, जब वो हॉस्पिटल में खड़े होंगे ना, जिनको कैशलेस ट्रीटमेंट चाहिए होगी, उन्हें कोई आइडिया भी नहीं है कि किसको कॉल करें क्या करें, क्योंकि वो क्लेम्स डिपार्टमेंट जो है वो अपनी ही धुन में हॉस्पिटल में काम कर रहा होता है, उन्हें कोई परवाह नहीं होती है, उनको हजारों लोग मिल रहे होते हैं। टू हैव अ फोन नंबर टू कॉल इन दैट मोमेंट इज द मोस्ट प्रेशियस थिंग एवर, and if that number is yours, they will trust you for the rest of your life. That is how someone like a LIC got built in life. वो एक इतना strong brand है that it is undeniable, and that is where someone like a Niva Bupa and you with your expertise and your experience and your trust can completely take over a partnership at a family level. अब इसके लिए the question that you asked Ankur is आदत कौन सी बनानी है, and I personally believe that the आदत has to be that of self learning and investment. क्यों? क्योंकि जैसे मैंने बताया दुनिया बहुत तेजी से बदल रही है, जो चीज आपको 5 साल पहले पता थी वो बदल चुकी है, प्रोडक्ट्स जो 5 साल पहले चलते थे वो बदल चुके हैं, पॉलिसीज जो 5 साल पहले थी वो चेंज हो चुकी हैं, सरकार जो 5 साल पहले बोलती थी वो बदल चुका है, कंज्यूमर जो 5 साल पहले चाहता था वो बदल चुका है। एंड आप अगर 5 साल पुराने हेल्थ कैप्टन के माइंडसेट से ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, आज आप नहीं जीत पाएंगे। आपको आज जो नॉलेज है, आज जो एनवायरनमेंट है, आज जो कंज्यूमर है, उसके हिसाब से चलना होगा। जेनजीज अब खरीदना शुरू कर रहे हैं। Health insurance is no longer something that people buy in their 30s. They buy it as soon as they start working. They should buy it as soon as they start working, perhaps even earlier. उनका buying pattern is so different from, say, the two Ankurs जिससे आप बात कर रहे हैं अभी। हमारी requirements बहुत अलग थी, हम बहुत अलग रिक्वायरमेंट्स के लिए खरीदते थे, हम टैक्स बचाने के लिए इंश्योरेंस खरीदते थे। हमें कम से कम मैंने तो पहला अपना इंश्योरेंस उसके लिए खरीदा था, हमें आइडिया भी नहीं था यार कितना इस्तेमाल होगा, कैसे होगा, क्या होगा। बट टुडे जेन ज़ी इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी टेकन फॉर अ राइड। दे वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड क्यों, दे वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड कैसे, दे वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आर द टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस, दे वांट टू इंश्योर दैट दे आर गेटिंग वैल्यू फॉर देयर मनी एंड दे आर वेरी वेरी स्मार्ट अबाउट इट। तो वो ऑडियंस वैसी नहीं है कि आप गए और आपने बोला जी कुछ भी बेच के आ गए और प्रीमियम मिल जाएगा। So invest in what is changing. Invest in how the markets are changing. Invest in how your consumers are changing. And the best thing that I can tell you, which if you were to adopt, it will change your game, is every single day. सेल करने के लिए नहीं, कोई डील क्लोज करने के लिए नहीं, सिर्फ और सिर्फ आपकी नॉलेज के लिए इन्वेस्ट 30 minutes per day in speaking to somebody who's very different from you, who is not potentially even a customer. Maybe somebody who's aged 18 or 19 years. Maybe somebody who's aged 60 or 70. Maybe somebody who has never had health insurance, or somebody who you think will never buy health insurance, not to sell them, but just to understand how they make decisions, how they think of money, how they think of their health, what are the decisions they make on a daily basis. क्योंकि ये जितना आप करेंगे ना, आप उतना ही अपने आप को उन आइडियाज से connect करवाएंगे which are very different from what your mindset already has. And then complement it with something like the Niva Bupa Insurance Academy. Because what you have, and I love the initiative because it's just so personal to somebody like me as well, it brings learning to the forefront and it says, अगर आप सीखना चाहते हैं, हम सिखाने के लिए तैयार हैं. क्योंकि इस दुनिया में ना सीखने वालों की कमी नहीं है, सिखाने वालों की कमी है. हम अपने स्कूल और कॉलेज में उन टीचरों को याद करते हैं जो किसी भी सब्जेक्ट को फन बना देते थे. फर्क नहीं पड़ता वो क्या सिखा रहे थे, वो कभी हिस्ट्री भी था, कभी ज्योग्राफी था, कभी बायोलॉजी था, but the teachers made it so enjoyable that we still remember them after all of these years. That is what the best teachers bring. That is what an insurance academy will attempt to, and I'm sure will succeed as well. It will make you have fun learning. So if you were to invest 30 minutes in speaking to a customer every day and on the insurance academy, you will make a very small but an immensely meaningful contribution to how you move forward in your life. तो इंश्योरेंस एकेडमी के लॉन्च के लिए एक बहुत बढ़िया एवी ऑडियो विजुअल निवा बुपा ने बनाया है, और मैं चाहता हूं कि आप सब लोग उसको देखें, बिकॉज व्हेन आई सॉ इट आई आल्सो फेल्ट कि काश मैं ही हेल्थ कैप्टन या एडवाइजर होता, एंड आई वुड हैव हैड दिस लॉन्च फॉर माय सेल्फ. सो प्लीज कैन वी हैव द एवी.
Niva Bupa has a purpose: to give every Indian the confidence to access the best healthcare. But a purpose like this doesn't live on paper. It lives in people, in you, our health captains. You're not just advisors. You are the steady hand in uncertainty. The reason a family never feels alone when it matters most. And that's how we have always seen you, the driving force behind change, proving every day that calm में शान है. And now we're taking that belief to the next level by creating a first of its kind platform that redefines what it means to be a health advisor in India. Introducing the Niva Bupa Insurance Academy, a revolutionary learning launchpad designed for our health captains to upskill you, empower you, and prepare you to lead. In partnership with India's #1 business daily, The Economic Times, we bring you nationally recognized, industry-certified learning experiences that turn skills into leadership, tradition into transformation, and career into legacy. It's not just learning, it's a movement, carrying forward IRDAI's vision of insurance for all by 2047. Because when you rise, 1 million lives rise with you. So, health captains, step up to stand up and show the world what a true leader looks like.
On that note, Ankur, and if you will allow me, I know when the team spoke about the Insurance Academy, I of course loved the idea, but there was one thing that stood out और मुझे बहुत impressive लगा वो. I'm sure इसके पीछे बहुत thought रही होगी और ये आसान decision भी नहीं रहा होगा. So I want to understand कि आप हैं तो एक corporate, आपकी fiduciary responsibility is to of course move the company forward financially for your stakeholders. तो बहुत आसान डिसीजन होता है, आप बोलते जी ये इंश्योरेंस एकेडमी जो है ये निवा बुपा हेल्थ एडवाइजर्स, हेल्थ कैप्टन्स के लिए, यू हैव टू बी रजिस्टर्ड एंड वर्किंग विद अस एंड वी विल ऑफ कोर्स गिव यू द एक्सेस बिकॉज यू वर्किंग विद अस. बट यू डिड समथिंग व्हिच इज इन माय ओपिनियन क्वाइट रिमार्केबल. यू आर लाइक नहीं, दिस इज ओपन फॉर एवरीबॉडी. फर्क नहीं पड़ता, ये अंकुर वारिकू भी आ सकता है हु इज नॉट इन एनी वे कनेक्टेड टू निवा बुपा, ये किसी और कंपेटिटिव ब्रांड के एजेंट एडवाइजर्स भी यूज कर सकते हैं, कोई भी यूज कर सकता है. What was the thought process behind that? I love it, but I want to hear it from you.
Look, हमारी इंडस्ट्री में ना there is something which currently happening. The top advisors are the one who learns, who has mentors, and who has networks, who may also attend your workshop by paying or do all of this. Actually, the others also want to grow, but they do not know how to do this, what to learn, where to start. तब हमने ये सोचा कि learning क्योंकि guarded रखें, or it should become an open source. And you know the answer was obvious. So we made the academy open and free, because the industry will not grow just when the 5-10% people get better. The industry will grow when every advisor in every corner of India gets the opportunity to upgrade themselves. That's what I feel. That's what Niva Bupa feels. And these were the reasons. It's not just a business choice, Ankur. It's also a nation building choice. And I'm sure you would also know, the way our economy is growing, the only barrier to that growth could be the human, their health. The human's health could be the only barrier towards a nation building. And I feel health insurance has a huge role to play. And that's where I'm saying again, repeating, it's not just a business choice, it's a nation building choice. And honestly, I am and we are proud to say this: the insurance economy is not just for Niva Bupa advisors, it's for the insurance industry. And that is why it had to be open, free. If someone becomes a better professional, he earns better, he protects more families, we win as a country. And because the skill is the new equalizer, and आप जैसे बोल ही रहे हैं, learning होगी, तो we'll be better, each individual will be better. And that's where we want to do that.
This is beautiful, Ankur. So amazing. I have to say this. I work with a lot of brands. I've had the honor and privilege, but very few brands in this country will have this kind of approach, which is of a growth mindset. ये एक belief कि हमारे जीतने के लिए किसी को भी हारने की जरूरत नहीं है. हर एक इंसान जीत सकता है. इतनी जगह है. अभी तो शुरुआत, मतलब day 1 भी क्या, day 0 भी नहीं हुआ है. 3.7% of GDP. It is incredible how much space is for every single player to exist and win. And I love the fact that you are almost defining the standard as a true leader should, what should be the right approach towards learning, growth, development of every single health advisor that goes out and hopefully covers this entire country with the right kind of insurance. I love this. This is absolutely
thank you very
beautiful.
much. Thank you, Ankur, for this appreciation. I know we are in the last stage of now the discussion, but one message that you could leave for our advisors today, our health captains today.
It's loud and clear, यार. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि किसी ने genuinely पूरी थाली परोस दी आपको, अब आपको सिर्फ खाना है. And आप इस point में ना बोल नहीं सकते यार, नहीं मेरा पेट भरा हुआ है, मेरा मन नहीं है, नहीं हम तो अभी भी खा के आ गए. Every bit of hard work is already done for you. Imagine जो सारा collective wisdom, collective understanding of the insurance industry, which is not trivial, क्योंकि आप इतने सालों से करते आ रहे हैं, तो आपको पता है ये सारी चीजें इकट्ठा करके एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे लाना, उसको ओपन सोर्स बनाना, इंश्योर करना, क्योंकि ऐसा तो नहीं है कि आज जो कंटेंट है वो बस अब 10 साल के लिए हो चुका है. हर क्षण उसको अपडेट करते रहना, इंश्योर करना कि एक लर्निंग प्रोग्रेशन है, आप सीख रहे हैं, आप फीडबैक दे रहे हैं, उस फीडबैक को इनकॉर्पोरेट किया जा रहा है. इट्स अ मैसिव एफर्ट and somebody is willing to do it with no seemingly direct economic benefit, but just for the goodwill and the growth of this industry. True nation building. And all you have to do is be responsible towards the same thing. आप वो जिम्मेदारी जो निवा बुपा ने अपने लिए ली, आप खुद के लिए अगर लें, that is the best thing that you can do starting today. तो वही वो 30 मिनट, वो 15 मिनट किसी ऐसे कस्टमर के साथ जो बिल्कुल भी आपको लगता है आप जैसे नहीं हैं या आपके कस्टमर नहीं बनेंगे, और 15 मिनट इस इंश्योरेंस एकेडमी में, ताकि एक आदत सी बन जाए कि यार रोज खुद के लिए इन्वेस्ट करना ही है. जैसे हम अपनी बॉडी को जिंदा रखने के लिए और आगे बढ़ाने के लिए खाना खाते हैं, अपने आप को रेस्ट देने के लिए सोते हैं, वैसे ही अपने दिमाग की कुश्ती के लिए, अपने दिमाग के बेटरमेंट के लिए हम अगर नॉलेज का एक 15 मिनट का डोज हर रोज दें, it will go a really long way. And that'll be my only humble request to all of you, because frankly इससे आसान तो अब जर्नी नहीं हो सकती है, अब कोई एक्सक्यूज नहीं रहा.
Thank you very much, Warikoo. It's such a privilege, and not just for my behalf, on behalf of the whole advisors who have come here. There are more than 20,000 people who have joined us today. It's been such a privilege having you here today. Your insights, the stories, and the way you connected towards, connected the learning to the real growth. I think that's the kind of spark we wanted to bring today in our advisors. I'm sure जो भी देख रहे हैं इस वक्त, they are today excited and just want to go out to do this. I have taken a lot of takeaways today from the conversation, and I know the audience also feels the same. Thank you for making time, for being candid, and for keeping it so real. And जो all the advisors who are watching, देखिए जब आप ग्रो करते हैं, पूरी इंश्योरेंस इंडस्ट्री ग्रो करती है, नेशन ग्रो करता है. एंड कीप डूइंग द वर्क. इफ यू हैव नॉट येट signed up for the academy, please do it today. Explore the modules it has. It has modules on industry, it has modules on product, it has modules on claims. Most important, it has modules on claims and a lot of digital learning. आप अपना growth कैसे आगे बढ़ाएं through digital ones, because remember, each module you finish, it is you're getting closer to growing your skills, your confidence, and your income. So don't wait, just enroll, learn, and level up. Thank you very much. Thank you.